Hello, everybody. Welcome to or welcome back to the Golden Girls podcast. I'm your host, Paris Babs, and today's episode is going to be all about navigating fabrics and how to choose the best clothing. If you're new to this channel, this podcast pertains everything to do with fashion, lifestyle, advice, and beauty. So if you're into all of those things, stay tuned for upcoming episodes and feel free to listen to my previous ones. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Of course, we're going to start off our episode with gratitude. So today's gratitude is my comfy bed, which seems mundane, but I had to acknowledge how comfy my bed is. Like my every time I go into my bed, it's lights out. Like that's how comfy it is. So yeah, I'm just very thankful for my comfy bed. And that's all I've got to say about that. This week's song of the week is A Narrow Gate by Ecclesia. It's very good. I suggest all of you give it a listen. And what I'm looking forward to is trying a new hobby. So right now it is March, the start of March. So yeah, it's getting lighter, the days are getting longer, and the temperature is getting warmer. So guess what that means? Starting a new sport. I I really want to do an outdoor sport because I feel like I'm inside a lot. Like all my sports that I've done previously have been inside, apart from tennis and skiing. But yeah, I really just want to do an outdoor sport. So yeah, I might, and also I might get back into playing an instrument. That's something that's really been weighing on my mind because when I was growing up, I, d- I played, well, I learned how to play the guitar, then I stopped. And then I learned the cello, then I stopped. Then I learned the piano, then I stopped. So there's been a lot of starting and stopping, but I really want to get good at one instrument. That's my one of my big time goals. Now that we've got all the formalities out the way, we're going to start today's episode, which is going into fabrics. This is a topic that has been really requested. Like my friends, every time I talk about it, they're like, girl, you should make an episode on it. So I'm making an episode. I've listened to all of your wishes and I've decided to make an episode. I've really done my research for this. So I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I did researching it. But yeah, let's get into today's episode. So I'm going to give you a structure of how I'm going to be explaining it just so you all can keep up and take notes. So first, I'm going to be going into the material and where it comes from, the seasons that you can wear this material, the type of garments that this material is normally found in, and how to take care of and wash this material. I will also be highlighting the places you can get the garments and be listing some low range and high range options just so you all have variety. So, the first one we're starting off with is cotton. Cotton is a plant and it's the most produced natural fiber in the world. It's very common and it's found in many garments. You will probably wear cotton at least once in your life. You've probably been wearing it your whole life and you've not even known it. Cotton is found in denim, basic tees, dresses, skirts, dress shirts, tanks, cable knit sweaters, literally the whole shebang. So it can be worn all year round. Cotton based garments can be worn at any time of the year due to the varied forms it can be molded into. As for wash and care, always check the care labels as not all cotton is manufactured the same. For example, denim jeans should be washed at 30 degrees or below, whereas cable knit sweaters should be washed at 30 degrees on a delicate cycle. Some of the places that you can get 100% cotton pieces is I'm just gonna list the categories and go on from there. So for jeans, you can either go ASOS or Levi's. For cable knit sweaters, you can go Ralph Lauren, Crew, Crew, Crew Clothing Company. And then for basic tees, for basics like tanks, camis, t-shirts, you can get it from an assortment of places. So I'm just gonna list the ones that I normally get mine from. So there's ASOS, Uniqlo, M&S. Those are three, the top three that I would suggest getting basics from. Then for dresses, you can get cotton-based dresses from Massimo Dutti and Reformation. And I recommend these two places for everyday dresses. They really have a wide variety of dresses that you can wear on a day to day. So I really recommend going to those places. For the types of cotton, I'm going to go kind of into depth because there is a lot of different cottons, but I picked three to highlight. So the first type of cotton that I'm going to highlight is Pima cotton. And this, when I tell you, it's so soft, and so it's delightful to wear. It's really good in the winter. I have a cardigan that is a button down cardigan and it's Pima cotton and it's lasted years upon years of use after use. I use it a lot and it has stayed the same throughout the years. So if you're wanting to get a staple piece to wear time and time again, I would suggest looking for Pima cotton. Very warm, very comfy, excellent. And it's, as I highlighted it before, it's soft yet durable. It's very durable. So there's no way of it deteriorating over a short period of time. It really does last long. The second type of cotton that you can get is denim, and this is a very highly durable, highly durable fabric, and it's used for obviously jackets and trousers. Denim is usually already 100% cotton, but I would stray away from the type of trousers that use a cotton and polyester or cotton and elastane mix because those tend to be stretchy. So if you're looking for jeans that are just 100% cotton, I definitely recommend Levi's or ASOS. I have a few pairs from ASOS just because it's very convenient for me to find my right size, as they have a system that you can put in the exact measurement of your waist and the exact measurement of the length that you want. So for all my jeans, I do waist 26, length 38. Because you know your girl is tall. So to make sure I get the exact fit I want, I just go to ASOS, put in my measurements, bish bash bosh, it's done, and I get jeans that fit me perfectly. So yeah, that's really my experience with jeans. Honestly, when looking for jeans that are 100% cotton, just go to the description of the product and it should say right away. Normally, all jeans are 100% cotton, but obviously, there's some companies that want to cheap out and use blends with non natural fibers. So, definitely be on the lookout for that. And the basic way you can check when you're out and about and you don't have time to be checking labels, just give the denim a stretch. If it stretches, it's probably mixed with something. If it's quite firm and it doesn't stretch much, it's probably 100% cotton or at least 98% cotton. I think with the ASOS ones, they're 98% cotton and 2% elastane. But I don't know where that elastane is being incorporated, whether it's for the thread or the waist. But most of it seems very sturdy. So yeah, I tend to go for that type of denim. The third type that I learned while researching, this is a discovery for me as well, so I'm very excited to share with you guys. There is a type of cotton called sateen. It's SATEEN, and it's used as a natural based silk alternative. which I didn't know about this. It's not as shiny as silk, but it does have a slight shine to it. So companies like Ralph Lauren, they use sateen for their pajamas, which I found out just by researching. This is a cost-effective alternative, which is good if you don't want to buy polyester, but you still want to buy a natural fiber that is also silky. So cost-effective alternative if you maybe don't have the budget for silk, but you want to stay away from synthetic fibers. This is your girl. Yeah. However, and I want to give a big disclaimer, sateen can be mixed with other synthetic fibers. And some companies are really sneaky and they say it's sateen, but it's actually just polyester, which I found out. So make sure to look into the product description and see if it's actually sateen. If it's sateen, it should say 100% cotton because sateen is cotton. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, if it's listed as sateen in the product description, it should say 100% cotton. So always check that before you buy. The second fiber that we're going to go into is, of course, silk. My favorite, my Shayla. I feel so weird using memes in this podcast, but I think I'm gonna start using it because this is how I actually talk. Like I just insert memes wherever I see fit. So get ready to hear a lot of that, but not too much. Not too much now. Anywho, silk is a natural fiber produced by silkworms. Guys, guys, silkworms. Silk is literally made by worms. I did not know this. This is why researching is good. I found it so informational to informational. Yeah, I don't know if informational is a word. Well, I found it so good to research about this because it's so fascinating. I'm gonna take you all through the steps of silk harvesting. Silkworms feed on mulberry leaves or other type of leaves. I think this was referring to the mulberry silkworms, but I'm just gonna keep on going from here. Silkworms feed on mulberry leaves. Then, when it's time for them to hibernate and turn into moths, they spin themselves a cocoon. The fibers from their cocoons are then harvested and spun into silk thread. A sad truth is, if silk moths are being harvested, they're most likely to be killed during the harvesting process because obviously they've not actually went out their cocoon yet. Whereas if they're just found in the wild, it's most likely that their cocoon will be left behind with the silk fibers and they would have already passed on to become a moth. So it is a quite a sad industry if you think about it because these worms, if they're being harvested, well, when they're being harvested, I should say, when they're being harvested, they do not get the chance to develop into moths. So this could actually be leading to the extinction of some silkworms. I'm not too sure. I didn't go that deep into it, but I'm just presuming if they are harvesting them at a high rate, this could lead to extinction, which is not good, no bueno. But yes, their cocoons are what have the silk and they they extract that silk and then turn it into thread. They spin it into thread. And that's how you get silk, which I didn't know. Oh, no, before they spin it into silk, they also put it in hot water, and that's what kills the moths. I forgot to mention that. So that's actually how they are killed. So they don't just extract it and then like rip it straight off of the cocoon. They have to I think they had to put it in boiling water and then extract the silk threads from the shell of the cocoon. Hello everybody, this is Future Paris. just butting in here. It's not boiling water because obviously that would shrink the silk. I'm not sure why I said boiling water, but correction. They they wash it somehow, but it's definitely not with boiling water. Maybe it's lukewarm water, but I don't think it would have been boiling water since obviously it's soap. My bad. Let's continue into the episode. But yeah, I watched the YouTube video. Very informational. Yeah. Now getting into the incorporation of silk into garments. So silk can be incorporated into really any garment. I have a cardigan that is like silk, cashmere, and cotton. There, it's like just blended, and you would have never guessed that silk is even in there. So it can really be incorporated into anything. But if you're looking for garments that are majority silk or 100% silk, this would probably be found in dresses, lingerie, nightwear, shirts, robes, camis, that type of attire, rather than, I guess, denim, or I shouldn't say denim, that's cotton. And rather than jeans or cardigans or jackets. So yeah, silk is very much for the type of garments that you either enjoy to go to sleep because they're very breathable, or for evening wear. That's the two that's the two uses for silk. Silk accessories have also been used for decades, and they have been popularized now. So silk bonnets, for example, and scarves, they're used heavily in the black community. And yes, I love silk bonnets and silk scarves with all my heart. When people started using scarves for to put as an accessory on their handbags, I didn't know how to feel because I don't know if it's been done for a long time. Maybe it's just me being late to the party. But I would want to put it in my hair. I prefer silk scarves being used on the head as a hair accessory, maybe as a little cape or a little neck accessory. I like it being used that way. I feel like this silk really goes to waste if it's being used on a leather handbag. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, to each to their own, but I just love the feel of silk, and having it on you is a completely different experience than having it on an accessory. So yeah, I just love the feel of silk. Very nice. It's also used on hair ties, pillowcases, and eye masks. There's a silk, well, not silk company. There's a hair slash sleep company, I should say, called Slip, and they do really good silk pillowcases. I approve. I personally have one, and mwah, I take it everywhere when I'm traveling. So good. Silk is known for its durability, its breathability, and its high absorbency. High absorbency in terms of it not being damp. So it can absorb a lot, but it still remain dry. Usually wear silk all year round due to its highly dynamic nature. For me, the most silk garments that I have is probably dresses. I have more silk dresses than anything else. I haven't delved into tops or lingerie or anything like that. So yeah, I tend to just wear silk dresses and obviously silk accessories, the scarves and the bonnets. I don't have a silk hair tie though, but I just feel like I wouldn't need it because obviously my hair is normally in braids or weaves, but normally in braids, so I wouldn't get to feel the exact benefits of having a silk scrunchie because it's not actually on my scalp, you know. The wash and care for silk. It should always be washed at cold temperatures to prevent shrinkage and damage. So, usually 30 degrees or lower. But I personally wash my silk at 20 degrees just to be safe. I know I'm really protective of my sensitive fabrics, so I tend to wash it under 30 degrees when possible. So I'm gonna list the places that you can get silk. Don't be disheartened because there are accessible ways to get silk, and I'm gonna list them. So first of all, you can get silk from Vinted or Depop for vintage silk pieces. They All you need to do is look up silk and then insert garment and things will pop up. A lot of the time, especially with clothing made in the 90s or 80s, they tended to use a lot of 100% silk fabrics to make their garments. And it was just normal back then. So honestly, have a look on Vinted and Depop and see what you can find there because there's bound to be some unique gems. And I can say from experience, you will find the gems if you really look for them. There's also this brand called Lily Silk, and it's for everyday wear. So they have everything from camis to dresses to dress shirts. They have it all. So if you're looking for everyday silk pieces, Lily Silk is your store. Intimacy Me, I've obviously highlighted this on my Instagram store of the week. So if you don't know, on Instagram, I do this weekly endeavor where I go into a brief description about a brand that I like and go into their origin, what they're most popular for, and what I like them for. So, Intimacy Me was the store of the week, I think 4 weeks ago, something like that. And they are known for having top of the range lingerie and not evening wear, night wear. They have 100% silk lingerie and nightwear. So if you're looking for those type of stuff, go to Intimacy Me. Obviously, Slip, I have mentioned them before. They do silk pillowcases and hair ties. And for scarves, honestly, you can find silk scarves anywhere. They are so common. So if you're looking for a silk scarf, fret not. They are highly accessible. A quick Google search, and you'll find silk scarves from many different price ranges. These are the stores that I saw when I searched up. So I'm just going to list them for you. So there's Aspinall, Dior. Well, actually, maybe I should say the full name. Aspinall of London, if you don't know. But I usually just say Aspinall because those who know, and those who don't, they'll get to know. So Aspinall of London, Dior, Hermes, Ralph Lauren, and John Lewis are just a few of the searches that came up when I searched. And they have some really nice silk scarves. So if you're looking for that, you have so many options. There are four types of silk. There is Eriosa, mulberry, tassar, and muga. These are differentiated by the type of worm the silk is derived from. Honestly, I wouldn't fret about the differentiation between the silks. Honestly, for me, silk is silk, and that might be really bad coming from someone who, I guess, likes learning about fashion and likes learning about fashion and how the garments are made. But the type of silk, I guess, is more important for the fashion designer than it is for the consumer, in my personal experience. When I see 100% silk, I'm not thinking, is it mulberry? Is it Eriosa? Like, it's just not something that crosses my mind. But I guess it's a good thing if you are into investing in different types of silks and that is your niche. And if it is, that's amazing for you, sweetie. You're doing great. The third and final fabric that I am going to explore is wool. And obviously, wool is I wouldn't say it's a common fiber. Well, it is a common fiber, but you can get different types of wools. And that is what I'm going to go into. So, wool is a natural fiber derived from mammals. You can have sheep wool, which is the most common type of wool. You can have cashmere, which is a lighter wool and very soft, and it's derived from the cashmere goats. You can get alpaca wool, which is obviously from alpacas, mainly deriving from South America. And then you can have vicu oh my goodness, vicunias. Actually, no, it shouldn't be I think this is a Spanish name. Wait, because it has the accent on the end, so it's probably vicunias. Vicuña. Guys, I'm still trying to get up on my Spanish, so just allow me for a minute. Vicuñas. Yes, I think I said it right that time. Vicuñas in Peru. So that's vicuña wool. And most of the wool pieces that I own are outerwear or tailored pieces. I don't own. Actually, I do have a skirt set that is wool, but yeah, I just see wool as a very out there fabric. It's very heavy and it's very worn. So I only get it if it's gonna be something that I'm gonna wear time and time again. I know that they do have s- skirts. Yeah, skirts. Skirts that are made of wool, but I feel that just too heavy for my waist, guys. My waist, my waist is not gonna be able to hold such a heavy material because your girl has a small waist. Like it's just gonna go down. You know what I mean? I guess if it's really tailored, it'll be fine because it'll be you know on my waist. But I'm talking about the type of skirts that are made to flow. You know, I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but I digress. Wool is worn mostly in the winter or autumn season, and sometimes in the spring, but I wouldn't wear wool in the spring. It's getting too warm for that. 90%, yeah, I wrote down, which is pretty much 90% of the time in Scotland, because Scotland is cold. We don't get summer here. It just gets warmer and lighter, and the days get longer. Like, it still rains, it's still cold, but we manage. We manage. And our outfits do slay. So I have to give Scotland that. Wash and care. Wool is very prone to shrinking. So let me be clear. Do not wash at hot temperatures. I made the mistake. I had a Jack Wills cotton knit, cable knit that was cotton and wool blend. Put it in the Ah, just thinking about it now. I put it in the wash with my normal products and I completely forgot that it was in the wash. And I think I washed it at like 40 degrees. Oh my goodness. That thing shrunk. I was so heartbroken. I was heartbroken. So don't be like me. Don't be like me. Wash it at least 20 degrees. Not at least. Yeah, at least 20 degrees and then at most 30 degrees. But me personally, as I said about my cashmere and silk, I don't go above 20 degrees on washing that because, yeah, I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way, and I don't want you guys to go through that. Places you can get wool pieces. You can get wool pieces for, it's pretty, I would say wool is pretty accessible because it is pretty common, especially sheep wool. It's very common. So John Lewis and M&S do very cost effective but really high quality wool pieces. You can go to Uniqlo and get some basics there. You can go to Arquette, and some designer brands do outerwear like Burberry. They're very known for their high quality outerwear, and I'm pretty sure they use gabardine. Gabardine, yes, which is from sheep's wool. I'm pretty sure. I did some research about it for some uni work, and from the research that I'd done, I think it was sheep's wool. Yeah. Fendi and Ralph Lauren also do some outerwear, but honestly, if you just search up wool coats, you'll be able to find a lot of options. It doesn't have to be designer. There are so many options in terms of outerwear, so I'd say go by style, then make sure you get a coat that has at least 80% wool because the wool is what's going to keep you warm. So if you're going for a wool coat, make sure it actually has wool in it. I've seen so many Zara jackets. I'm actually going to search up the Zara jacket now that everybody's wearing. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't even have wool in it. And I was so mad because I was like, Miss Girls, if you're going to be spending money on a quote unquote wool coat, make sure it actually has wool in it. Well, let me see. I hope it does have wool in it. I'll be really sad if it does. And cropped wool coats have been very popular this season. And I love that for the girlies that love a cropped coat. Composition, can it not just show me the composition kit? See, it's only 50% wool. No, no, that is terrible. I have a wool coat. It's actually from Zara, but it's vintage Zara. I got it off Vinted, and it's 80% wool. And it's like, mwah, chef's kiss. Because nowadays, brands will just put 50% wool and still say it's a wool coat. At this point, like, how can you call it a wool coat if it only has 50%? So heartbreaking. Anyways, that is actually the end of the episode. I decided to focus on three fabrics just so I wouldn't overwhelm you. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it was very informational. And I hope you all go on to acquiring garments that are one, durable, two, come from natural fibers, and three, look amazing. So, thank you so much for listening today. And I hope to see you all maybe in a part two. Maybe I'll go through synthetic fibers because I've heard a lot about vegan fibers and plant based fibers. So I really want to research about that. A lot of fibers have said to, well, the plant based ones, they have said to be containing cellulose. And as a biology girly, I'm like, I know what that is. I know what that is. I did higher biology, guys. And cellulose is the outer structure of a plant. And it's usually what, I guess, structures the plant. I don't know how to. there's a biological description for this, but your girl left biology in high school, so I'm sorry I can't remember the actual definition of it. But yes, it's the outer structure of a plant, and that's what basically gives the cell its structure. Think of it as celery. You know how celery has, actually no, celery is not a good example. Um something that has a shell, I guess. Um Aloe vera, that's a very good example. See, aloe vera plant, the cellulose would be in its skin. So that's what gives it its structure. And then within the aloe vera, you have the cytoplasm, which is the gooey stuff. And then you have the nucleus. Every plant, pardon me, every plant has the nucleus. So those are the three main structures of plants, but obviously there's many more. I know that animal structures and plant structures has many more functions and items within it, which I cannot for the life of me remember right now. But I do remember those three main functions. Go me. After what? 4 years? Actually, no, not 4 years. I'm in third year right now. So, yeah, 3 years of not doing biology. I'm proud of myself that I remember that. But yes, if you want to hear more about fabrics and the synthetic ones, let me know. If you know me in person, let me know in person because I know some of you guys don't like commenting. So let me know in person, I guess. yeah, but I hope to see you all in part two. Obviously, coming to an end of the episode, I'm gonna plug in the Instagrams. If you already follow it, that is great. If you don't, get to following. So the Golden Girls Podcast Instagram is Golden Girls Podcast, all one word, is GOLDENGirlspodcast. That's Golden Girls Podcast, all one word. And if you want to follow my personal Instagram to get to know a little bit more about my personal life and what I get up to, that is at ParisBabs underscore. That is ParisBabs underscore. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.